Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Colleen. How you doing?
I um I'm good, man. I love the summer. My kids are in 100 activities.
Nice.
So, like my son starts water polo at 6:45 in the morning. Did I tell you this?
No? What?
So, yeah, we take our water polo really seriously here in Southern California.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm good, but just been running around all morning.
hmm
How are you? I'm actually really excited to hear about RubyConf. So maybe we could start with that.
Yeah. RubyConf was last week, Tuesday through Thursday. So we had the community day on Wednesday, in Vegas. I got to the hotel at Monday evening and left the hotel Friday morning and did not go outside once.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yeah. Which it's fine. It was 105 degrees or
Mhm.
something every day, and I wasn't trying to do that, but honestly, I don't think it would have mattered. It was a conference with a casino and food and everything, so I was just inside for a week.
That
Um,
sounds really depressing when you say it like
it
that.
does when I say it like that, yeah. There's like looking out on the pool, but not actually going in. Um, conference hallway track at the conference was top notch. Spoke to a ton of people, met a ton of people, spent most of Thursday, which was like the wrap up day, just in the common space with my laptop open, and multiple people sat down and we had conversations about all different stuff, like whether it was Ruby or Rails or mobile or just like therapy and life or children and parenting. Like it was a really nice, just I felt like I was hosting office hours for anyone who wanted to talk. um but I went to this conference. Usually I go to conferences with the goal of getting clients for Hotwire Native and my Hotwire Native work, but timing doesn't really line up with that right now. So I went all in on Ruby Native this year and did a workshop on Ruby Native. I did the Ruby Native or Ruby Runway with Ruby Native, and I also hosted like official office hours during the community day. So it was a lot of like getting the word out there for Ruby Native, talking to people. Got two different paid subscriptions while I was in Vegas, which was pretty cool. So it was exciting to see like a little bit of that start to work. Um, and then of course like a bunch of free signups and people kicking the tires on it. So it was, I think it was fruitful for me, but the hallway track was totally worth it.
The day you did the workshop, didn't you have
hmm
like a power day? Didn't you
Oh my
have
god.
several things in a row that day?
So I had a workshop from 10 to noon. And then from 2 to 4, I hosted office hours in like the office hours space. And then from 4 to 5 was the Ruby Runway presentations. So I
Wow.
essentially was standing from 10 to 4:15 that day, presenting or talking or instructing Ruby Native in some way.
Wow.
It was
So the
it was
two,
a bit of a
yeah, I bet that
whirlwind.
was for sure. The two people that signed up were they, is it for their hobbyist projects? Is it for their businesses?
Here- I'm still trying to figure that out. It's like one of those projects that, well, because I can check out the website, right? I can get in there and they are extremely professional looking. So it doesn't look like a soloist hobby project right now. But I also feel like my judgment on that is totally wrong now with AI, with like how good AI
Right.
can generate, I won't say good design, but professional looking design like everything else. So I think it's somewhere in the middle. They're both on the starter plan, so they're not running in-app purchases through the app, which means that they're either making money through a B2B type service or they're not making money at all. But the
Right.
fact that like they both signed up, I don't know. I have to reach out and be like, "Hey, can I help you?" Of course. Like I have a drip
Sure.
campaign that's going, but I need to manually reach out. Um, because I know that one of them, it is for their business, like they are a developer at a company and they are in charge of implementing Ruby Native for their company because they were asking about Microsoft SAML. And I can't imagine that an individual is using
Would do
Microsoft
that on
SAML.
purpose.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that one is definitely like a real business. And now that you mentioned, I need to figure out like what their pipeline was, how they got involved, and how am I only charging them $300 a year if they're using Microsoft SAML? Right? Like
Yeah.
that's not a price alignment right there. That needs to be a lot more money.
Wait, were these
And
people who came to your workshop and then signed up, or they just happened to sign up while you were at RubyConf?
these two happened to sign up while I was at RubyConf, but I
Okay.
think I got 6 people to register
Okay.
that learned about RubyConf, like from RubyConf. At least the URL, the landing page URL matched that lineup.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I had the workshop. I had a bunch of people that were super excited to like pick my brain on Ruby Native. It's always funny how, like when you release something like this, because Ruby Native is it's commercial software, right?
Mhm.
You pay to get access to run the code that I built for you and to get the pipeline that builds your apps and stuff. And you can really tell who isn't in the target audience because the first thing they ask is, how do I use this as a package in my own app? How do I use this? Like, I still want to write my own native code. How do I use Ruby Native under the hood? And it's like, you don't.
You
That's
don't.
not how Ruby Native works. Like, you are not, the whole point of it is that you don't look at native code. And it's very
Yeah.
interesting to see, like, the first question that someone asks is either that or does it work with inertia? And I can proudly say, yes, it does work with inertia. So
Nice.
it was cool to say that, but I had a lot of like back and forth of why you can't use it as a package or shouldn't, with people that like, then never actually even sign up because they're really just kicking the tires, like
Kicking the
from a
tires.
technical standpoint, like how does it work more than I need this. Yeah, the Ruby Runway presentation was 5 minutes. We had 5
Okay.
minutes on stage.
Okay.
And for folks that aren't familiar with Ruby Runway, because I think it was the first time they had ran it,
Yes.
there were 6 of us or 8 of us that had previously submitted a recorded video of our startup built on Ruby to Ruby Central. I don't know how many people applied, but the 8 of us were the finalists in this kind of quasi competition. And then we were able to present our 5-minute spiel at RubyConf to kind of whoever would listen. And it was originally supposed to be like a paid someone would win a grant, like a couple $1,000 grant. They ended up changing that to kind of more get in front of, the audience. So for me, it was more like someone could have heard about Ruby Native 3 times that day through like 3 separate official events.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. And I'll have a 5-minute kind of like investor demo. Not that I'm looking for investment, but it follows more that like the business model, the money that's been made so far, how many customers I have, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's a lot of travel for, that. I think that
Yeah.
in the future, a 3-day conference is just tough.
That is a long conference.
It's a long
But
conference.
I mean, I was having this conversation with someone the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've talked about this too. The ROI of conferences is impossible to predict.
For an attendee or a speaker or
For anyone. I guess
the
what I'm
person
trying to say
hosting it.
is building relationships.
Yeah.
The ROI on building relationships is impossible. I have multiple times in my life met one person at a conference, and that years later, that person has become a customer or hired me, or I've started a business with them. Like just things multiple times in my life, things I never would have predicted have happened to me because I attended conferences. So I think it's hard to, in the immediate aftermath, to be like, well, I got maybe 6 people sign up, maybe 2 convert. I don't think that's the real ROI. I think the real ROI is potentially months, if not years down the road of relationship building, that you can't even anticipate.
Totally agree. I mean, we met at RailsConf.
I know. And look at, we met once at RailsConf.
Once. Yeah.
Years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean,
like literally, we just met. We had like a drink on the rooftop, I think.
That's right. We had a drink on the rooftop.
Who was it? Well, Aaron was there, of course, because you were doing Hammerstone then, and
Andrew
Culver.
You're thinking of Andrew.
Andrew Culver,
introduced us. Yes. And then we
So-
decided to be best friends, obviously.
Yeah, just from one cocktail. There you go.
Right. So that's my point. Is like I hear what you're saying, that like it's a lot of travel, especially with leaving the house with little kids. Your wife is pregnant. Oh, there's a lot. But I have found that the dividends on like relationship building are, one, great for like your soul, not to sound all cheesy, but to just have these mixing professional and personal relationships in like a really positive way. And yeah, who knows?
Exactly. Yeah, that was my mentality for day 3. It's like, I am going to force the hallway track as hard as possible and sit in this room facing the door, and everyone who walks in, I'm going to wave at and like close my laptop to show that I could talk to them, or like get a coffee, and I think that already, not that it's already paid off, but that mentality of knowing like, I'm here to talk to people is a very different mindset than I'm here to learn, or, I'm here to attend the conference or speak to this one person. Like, I think I spoke to 4 different developers and managers at Shopify over the course of that day.
Yeah.
Like people that I have relationships with, but also that I haven't spoken to in like 2-3 years.
In years.
So
yes.
It helps. Yeah, it's all about that relationship building. As someone who is a contractor, like, that is my pipeline.
Right. 100%. I mean, I think, I still tell people that when they're like, how do you get started? I'm like, I got started by showing up in person to places. Because people want to hire people that they trust. And if they meet you in person, they are much more likely to trust you.
Oh, yeah. That's very true. Yeah. And right after that is video. And right after that is audio. And right after that is blog posts. But it's like, in person is an order of magnitude above all of that.
Absolutely. Harder to reach as many people, but easier, a better way to build relationships. So I'm reading, do you know who Scott Galloway is?
The name is familiar.
He has a couple podcasts. He does one with Kara Swisher, and he does one, I think it's called the Professor G podcast. I don't actually listen to his podcast, but I heard him on Diary of a CEO. And his podcast with the guy from Diary of a CEO is really good. And so I got his book. Such a pipeline, right?
Nice. Nice. Yep.
The book is called The Algebra of Wealth. But one of the chapters it's about relationships. Like, the whole chapter is about, you only have, like, kind of the whole concept of this book is there are only certain pillars in life that are like consistent and important. And one of them is relationships. And I haven't finished the book yet, but I was reading that yesterday, thinking about RubyConf, thinking about conferences, and like, even when it seems like, oh, I don't really know, they're not all a win, but just showing up in person to events and like building these relationships over the long term is so valuable.
Yep. Yeah. I totally agree. And you forget about that when you're buying your plane tickets or booking your hotel or paying for things and stuff,
Totally. They're expensive. And can I also say, like, it's hard to start from scratch. So I was invited to speak at an event here in San Diego, and I went, and it was sold out, 100 people. I didn't know anybody. It was awful. I didn't know anybody. It was awful. I was so uncomfortable the whole time. Yeah. Because although people were like, oh, you're so social, like, I have to like force myself to do that. And now I've been in certain communities long enough where it's fun because people in the room. But I'm speaking at this event and like, everyone is nice, but it is awkward. Like, I don't know anybody. And it occurred to me, I was like, not only do you have to show up, you have to show up more than once. Like, if I show up to this particular group's event once in my whole life, it does nothing for me. If I show up once a quarter, even if it's once every 6 months, then you start building those relationships. Then you enter the room. And if like, my new goal is like, next time I go to one of these events, like, know 5 people. So it's not so uncomfortable. Once you start to know people, like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. Like, the more you do it, the easier it gets because the more people you know.
Sure. Yeah, and then they introduce you to other people, so it's even easier. You introduce them to people because have the connections. As hard as it is also going to an event for the first time and being a speaker instead of an attendee brings you up a whole nother level because you have an excuse. Someone has an excuse to talk to you.
Yes.
Like if they see you and they maybe want to talk to you, maybe don't, they can just bring up something from your talk. Or you can ask them what they thought of it. It's like such an easy icebreaker that two attendees don't have.
Yes. 100% agree. Although this particular event, like just for context, there were 4 speakers and it was short. Like one of the women literally has patents in like AI data science, like back from like 15 years ago when it was a new thing, has started multiple businesses, is now an investor and advisor. And I'm like, why am I on a panel with this person? This is so uncomfortable. She was so nice, but also like so impressive. I was like, okay. So there was that. It was very cool.
Whew. Yeah. Conferences. In-person stuff. In-person
events.
stuff.
Go to in-person events. That's my TLDR here.
You had, speaking of out of the home, I saw some inklings of you doing some in-home stuff with some Home Assistant or AI stuff. I feel like I'm seeing like a peek into something that is becoming an obsession of yours, and I want to hear about it firsthand.
Okay, I'm so obsessed with this.
Yeah. Okay, so I was right.
You were right. You were right.
Yeah.
So here is the context, which if you are listening to this and you have a spouse who handles all of your home stuff, then like share this with your spouse. If you and your spouse share the home stuff or you do some of it, this will be relevant to you. Like my home mental load life kids just feels insane. It is like in our family. So we have like 7 calendars. I have 3 kids in 3 different schools who play 3 different sports.
Oh my God.
At various levels, who do instruments, who do like the play. I mean, email is like the bane of my existence. Like it just makes my face want to melt off. I hate email so much. And so I've tried many different products. I have tried these AI email products. I pay for Spark Mail, but like none of it is like that good. And I think what's not good about it is you have to prompt it. Like I can go into Spark Mail and be like, summarize all my newsletters, but that's a real pain. I hate that a lot. So I have spent some time using Hermes so I was all into OpenClaw, as you may remember. OpenClaw keeps breaking and like, I just don't care to fix it. Like I just don't care. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to start over and I'm going to build out this I'm calling it my virtual assistant, my personal AI virtual assistant on Hermes on Hetzner. So the same Hetzner box that I have OpenClaw on, I put Hermes on. I don't know if it's Hermes, I don't know. Right? Isn't that the brand?
Is there an accent?
To say it like, well, for like if you buy the fancy scarves, the French scarves spelled the same way, there's an accent.
Hermes.
Hermes.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Well, did the original developer, were they French or were they not?
We should look that up. I sure don't know.
Because it might be Hermes.
Hermes. Which is bad because it sounds like rabies, which is bad. So I have been building out this personal AI assistant and I am very excited about it. It has been a huge pain. But I'm pretty excited about it. So here's what I've done so far I have like this concept of open loops. And I think I'm reading this other book called, something about excellence, by Brad Stulberg. I'd have to go find it. It's something about excellence. And he talks about how like in our world, a lot of us are just really tired. And we're not tired because we're doing good work. We're tired because like the mundane tasks of all these open loops we keep in our brains is wearing us down. And I was like, 100%. Like, I have to remember that this kid starts school on this day. This other kid starts school on a different day. This kid has lacrosse. This kid needs the dentist. This kid needs all that stuff, which you have too. And so, so I synced up, like I said, we have 7 calendars, which sounds ridiculous, but it's a long story. Synced up the 7 calendars. I gave my agent write access to our iCals, which so far so good, which I'm loving, to be honest with you. And then basically it keeps track of all of my open loops. So anytime I have a thought, I call them mosquito tasks, like the little things that
Yeah.
like are buzzing around in your brain. I just tell my agent, it adds it to the list. It prioritizes the list. I give it dates, and it keeps like home over here, and it keeps like a work list and a home list. And I hooked it up to my email, which I did not want to do. I only hooked it up to one account. I spent an entire day hardening every single thing that account can access. So PSA, if you are going to hook an AI agent up to your email, remember there's an attack vector of banks of like resetting passwords. So your biggest attack vector is this reset password attack vector should your agent go rogue. So you're putting yourself in this scary security situation where if your agent has access to the web and access to your email, you can see a situation where theoretically it could go to Namecheap. Let's just use Namecheap. And if this would be like it totally goes rogue, right? Like it ingests like a bad script, but it tells Namecheap it forgot your password. You get the password reset to your email, it ingests it, it resets your Namecheap password and steals all your domains.
Right.
So I spent an entire day like hardening everything I have. And you harden against that with two-factor and other things. Hardening all of my accounts. I hooked up my email. And And so I have like actually three different agents in Telegram. One is like my virtual assistant, who's like my main agent. One is like my health stuff, like, hey, did you go to the gym today? Don't be lazy. And one is just digest. It reads all my emails and digests them, and I love it. And I'm very excited.
So is this read-only access to your email?
So apparently.
But
apparently no. The answer to your question is no. It's obvious. It's supposed to be, and by like supposed to be, I mean it reads the email through a Python script that only exposes read-only access, and it is coupled with a very aggressive skill about like never, ever, ever send an email. Theoretically, though, because of the way permissions are granted by Gmail, theoretically it could go crazy.
Yeah. It could, right? If it broke that or something.
It like you hear those stories of it like going so it's definitely dangerous, if you will. There is definitely an element of like, oh, this could go totally crazy. So it's definitely there's definitely that risk vector there.
That's cool. Does the Hermes
we'll just call it Hermes.
Does it have a Sol MD?
Yeah,
and did you like what's your take on that file? Do you have anything in there that's different that helps you there?
Yeah, I have all kinds of stuff in there. But basically it's, personality rules, like all the various rules, how to speak to me, the skills, all that stuff. Nice. It's the setup is almost the same as OpenClaw, but
it sounds like it.
I really like it because it really also helps me with things like, how there's things you need to do, but you don't need to do them today. Like, I think the problem with to-do lists in general, when we think about productivity in general, is we really like to, some people, like me, really like to make lists, but then these things stay on your list forever, and mentally in your head, you're like, yeah, we kind of need to do that, but like, it doesn't have to get done today.
Right.
And so it stays on your list, so it's like this mental load of like get the kids passports. My kids should have passports. Like, do I need to do that today? Do I need to do it tomorrow? No. I just sometime in the next 6 months, like I should do that. So to me,
those are hard.
Yeah. So I have like this whole concept of the bench. And so basically I have like open loops with dates that need to happen in the week. If it doesn't have to happen with the week, I put it on the bench. And the bench is like things that have to happen eventually.
Yeah.
And then I have like the workbench, which are like, how you get emails and you're like, man, I should really like spend some deep work, like reading this really interesting article or stuff like that. So I have like these, like, if I ever have extra time, here are the things I want to do.
Like a read it later type thing.
Yeah. Or like think deep thoughts about this thing. Yeah, so it's totally overly engineered. Like I said, I've got the open loops, I've got the work, I've got the personal, I've got the calendars, I got the birthdays, but so far, I'm kind of obsessed with it.
I really love it gets you get an email it reads the email and it knows that you don't have to take an action on it, but it adds something to your calendar.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
even
That's exactly what
like
it
that,
does.
like you
I
never see
love
the
that.
email. It has context on the email, and maybe it put it in the calendar, event if you need to know like what floor to go to for your appointment or what have you. But like I get emails all the time of, oh, this thing has been scheduled that you asked about 2 weeks ago, or oh, this needs to move, or this like event we were going to do is pushed back. Like all of that stuff is like, okay, read the email. Do I need to take an action on it? Do we have a calendar invite? Did I create the calendar invite? Did my wife create the calendar invite? Do I have to
Is it
email
on the
her
right
to update the
calendar?
calendar invite?
Yes.
Like all that
Yes.
stuff. Having that be more automated sounds really cool. And I like that it's living in your tools instead
Yeah.
of a separate thing. Like my sister got my parents this essentially just a big iPad, right?
hmm
And
hmm
it goes in their office, and it's just a calendar. It's a huge calendar, but everyone that they give access to can add events to that calendar. So they can, like, when I go to visit them, I email this special email address that says, Joe will be in North
Right.
Carolina like these dates, and then it just shows up on their calendar, and it's really cool for that type of stuff. But it is a totally like it only lives there. It doesn't live on
Right.
their phone. It doesn't live on their computer, and they're boomers, so it's very different for them. Like that works for them, and that's fine. They have a to-do list on it, and it's all local kind of only. They have to shift their whole workflow of where they get information from. And you're just
Yeah.
finding new ways to pipe information to your existing tools, which I'd imagine has a much higher adoption rate because from like the end user, even if that is still also you, your workflow
hmm
doesn't change. You're still checking your iCal, you're still checking your Telegram messages and stuff like that.
Yeah, I find the biggest challenge in all of this is putting all the systems together, which
Yeah.
is kind of like the biggest challenge in software engineering in general. But to your point, like I already live in Telegram. I already have Telegram. So for me, like I didn't put it in Slack. Like I like Telegram.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's been great to have a single source of truth, right? Because
I like it.
before
Yeah.
it's like all different places and who knows what and what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like low key, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it. And
Hi, Key.
it's interesting. Hi, Key. Yeah. Yeah,
How many
I'm
kids
kind
do you
of obsessed with it.
Yeah,
I,
I really like that. I would never be able to convince my wife to give access to any of this stuff, but I do like the idea of taking stuff off of our plates and giving it to something that we're not talking to, we're not paying. It's just like it's set up, it's good to go. It's your virtual assistant that is always working. It feels like one of the few uses of this always running AI agent that I could actually get behind.
that you
I just
actually
like
like.
never
Yeah.
bought on with OpenClaw. I was always like, well,
Yeah.
just run the script yourself when you need the data. Is it really setting up a
Okay.
whole infrastructure just to have something run every week? Is that worth it than just calling the command? And I'm gonna
Yeah,
get a
I
lot of
mean,
flack for that.
I get an email digest at 6:05 in the morning, which is
Uh-huh.
amazing because I get so much. Like I said, I get so much email. So I get
Yeah.
like my digest, I'm looking at it right now. I get a digest every 30 minutes, it scans my email. I
Uh,
get a digest at 6 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon that like
uh-huh.
summarizes all of my email, which I love.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then I get a morning report every day that's like, hey, here's what's on your calendar today. Here's what I'm based on. And then what it does is it slots in based on my to-dos.
Ooh, that's cool.
It'll slot them in where it thinks it is appropriate. So it'll
Nice.
say,
I
here's
like
what's
that.
on your like today I have 3 meetings, right? So it's like, here's
Uh-huh.
what's on your calendar today. You have a free block from this time to this time. So I put in do your taxes.
I love it. Next step
Yeah,
is to have it print for you physically so you can hold it,
physically. Yeah.
a physical
Yeah.
copy, and then it's like you can take pencil and paper to that.
Yeah. So far I'm loving it. It's interesting because there's actually tons of startups popping up in this
Yeah.
personal AI virtual assistant space. And I've tried them. And I think the thing that's tricky for the consumer startups in this space is
Yeah.
one, no one wants to pay for it. Like I don't want to pay $40 a month for your service that's going to do the thing I just did,
Mm-hmm.
on my Hetzner box.
Right.
But more importantly, I think the problem is everyone has really different ways they like to work and different workflows. And like some people visual, they want it in calendar form. Some people like it written.
Yep.
So I actually think like I'm going to continue to iterate on this and work on it. But I do think it's a hard problem to solve at scale because I do think people like different things, if you will.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is the epitome of all the people on Twitter saying the end of SaaS and everyone's going to be building their own stuff. And for stuff like this, I think it actually does apply because someone who is even slightly technical can pull together this with the help of AI now and build exactly what they need. And because it is just for them, the problems are much smaller. Like the surface area is much smaller. The scary part is like, you've identified the risks. You're willing to accept the risks. You have safeguards in place for those risks. Someone who doesn't understand those is just like, read-write access to everything. You need my bank account to fill out this W-9? Here's access to my bank account. Like, that's not unheard of. And that's where those businesses are going to, I think, succeed in those type of people. But are there enough of them? I don't know.
But let me tell you, speaking of email, so I did not hook up, like I hooked up an email. I have like 6 email addresses. So I hooked up an email address that is not like, I would consider it a low risk email address. It's the email I use for newsletters. It's not connected to anything scary. So what I really, really wanted though, remember 3 kids in 3 different schools. I wanted all the kids' emails going to this email. And so what I did is I set up a forwarder in Google, right, to forward all of the kids' emails to this other email. But like, there are literally like 10 different domains I'm forwarding from to. So as advice, let me give you some advice as someone who has younger children. Set up an email address for all of your kids' stuff that you and your wife share. Do it now. Because what happens is if you use your personal email, which my husband and I did, you can't change it with the school district. Like, it's a huge deal. It's not like I can go onto the school district's like Canvas and change my email. I have to like I can't do it online. So once you lock in your personal email for kids stuff, you can't change it. So may I suggest like mazzolottikids@gmail.com. It's not too late, and start putting everything on that email. It will make your AI future so much better.
Yeah, that is good to know. We literally this week signed up for our oldest kindergarten email account. So you got me just a few days too late.
I was going to say just too late. Just too late.
Just too late. Actually, I think that only my wife has set hers up. So maybe my email address will be this kid's one.
I highly recommend it because once I get into sports and music and all the things, you're going to be getting like 100 emails a day.
Yeah.
So,
I also love that I could do children@mazzolotti.com.
Oh, do that. That's so good. Please do that one.
Or like kids@mazzolotti.com or something.
All the kids at mazzolotti.com.
No matter how many we have, they'll just, everything goes
all
here.
The kids.
That's great.
Because then you could hook that up to an AI agent, which would make you very happy.
Yeah, that's true. Quick AI agent story. I wanted Claude to be able to read my emails because a lot of times I track my consulting leads through essentially a bunch of markdown files that live in a directory, and then Claude has access to those. And anytime I get an email from someone, I like copy and paste it in, and Claude extracts like what is relevant and updates the file and all that stuff. And I was like, I'd rather have this just be, Claude can just read the email and do it itself, right? And I could maybe even if it's just like /sync or whatever.
Yeah.
So I set up a new email address, and I was like, I'm going to have everything forward to this email address. And Claude can, even if Claude writes, it's fine because it's just forwarding to this. And I did it. I set up the Gmail extension in Claude or whatever, the MCP, all that stuff. And Google immediately shut it down. Like
really?
Instantly shut it down. Yeah.
Wow.
Which I thought was a little which was annoying because I didn't send a single email. I forwarded like 3 and then immediately set up the MCP, and Google was like, no. We don't do automated emails only here at Google. You must also be using it as a human. So I gave up on that path, but that was the ideal for me. It was like essentially building what you are on level 1 instead of level 6 and having it just like ad hoc. So you were speaking my language there. If only Google thought I wasn't a
That's
bot.
super interesting. I wonder, maybe because you had so I forwarded all my stuff to an email that I've been using for years. So it's like
Exactly.
clearly a real email. So it must be because it was a new email that they shut it down.
I think from the time I created the email address to the time it was shut down was like 4 hours.
Wow. Did you use your domain?
No,
Or did you use
because
Gmail?
I use Gmail because my domain, it's Google Workspace, which is a pain in the butt because every email address is a new user.
That's true. You have to pay for it.
So it's like I'm paying $4.13 or something right now. Do I really want to pay? Like the next plan is $15 a month, and I'm just like, nah, not worry. I'll read my own emails.
That's a good point.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Ms. Schnettler, you have some news to share with the audience.
I do have some news. So I have accepted a full-time position.
Woo! Congratulations.
Thank you.
What can you tell us? What can't you tell us?
I don't really know. So I'm going to keep it real vague. I've accepted a full-time position, and I think it is going to be, with a company that I am very excited about joining, and I think it is going to be an excellent fit. It is essentially going to be AI enablement, which is essentially what I do now independently. So I'm basically taking what I do now in-house. And I have, for a while now, I have really wanted to work on a bigger scale. Like I love being independent. It has been great. It is a great career path. But also, like, I can only influence so much in my little bubble, right? One client here, one client there, one client of this size, one client of this size. I am not working at like billion-dollar scale. And for a long time, I have been interested in, one, working on a team again, very excited about that, and two, just working on something that's bigger. I have, big dreams and big goals. So I have taken a full-time position and will hopefully get to do all of those things at my new job.
Very, very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't wait for everyone to hear about where you're working, because I'm sure you'll at least update your LinkedIn at the least.
I think so. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing.
So along with that, if folks aren't aware, I'm expecting baby number 3 in September. So unfortunately, with those two things combined, this will be our last episode. Maybe for a while, maybe forever. We're not sure yet, but this will definitely be our last episode for the year, pretty much.
Yeah,
we might come back next year and do a little recap, or maybe we'll pick it up again. We don't even know if Colleen's allowed to do a podcast
Colleen
at her
has
new
no
job.
idea.
So we're kind of playing this by ear now, but this is kind of goodbye, at least for a little while.
Yes.
So
thank you, everyone who's joined us and listened. Is this episode 15? Did we make it to 15?
I think it's actually a number larger than 15. I don't know exactly. It might be 17 or something, but we made it past 15.
Sweet. Yes. Yes.
Colleen, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you or follow your journey after this podcast?
Yes, I am most active on LinkedIn. It's Colleen Schnettler. I am re-emerging on Twitter as Leanie Burger, but I don't check that as often. And you can always reach out to me via email at colleen@bitmappeddesigns.com.
Excellent. I am mostly Mazzolati.com. That has links to everything. And if you can spell that, Joe.
I was just thinking that. I'm in my head. I'm like, Mazzolati.
Yeah, right. Joe@Mazzolati.com for email. We'll have links to all this in the show notes, of course, and on nopermission.fm. We'll also have links to all of these, so you can't miss us. Colleen, good luck with the new job. I hope we can keep in touch outside of the podcast. I know we can. And good luck.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.